Good morning and welcome to our March Lunch and Learn webinar. Bienvenue aussi à nos clients et partenaires francophones. My name is Mike Sommer, and I'm a recent addition to the business development team here at DNA. With me is Dino Sacchetti, our senior consultant, expert in Sage Intelligence, the topic of today's webinar. If you are new to these monthly sessions, you should know that as expert consultants in Sage 300 exclusively, DNA helps some 450 small and medium-sized businesses expand their accounting solutions into a full-fledged business management solution to make them more efficient. Today, we'll spend some 40 to 45 minutes presenting the intelligence reporting tool and leave 10 minutes or so at the end for questions. For sake of efficiency and for recording this webinar, we've muted all lines, but feel free to submit any questions you have in the chat box at any time, and we'll try to answer as many questions as possible in the Q&A sessions at the end. If there are any questions specific to your environment or that you wish to take outside of this forum, we'll be happy to speak with you after the webinar or later this week. Si vous préférez poser une question en français, il nous fera plaisir d'y répondre. Il suffit de la soumettre dans la section clavardage. So let's begin. Sage Intelligence has been a component of Sage 300 for a number of years already, but it remained until recently a well-kept secret, and the product has evolved significantly over the most recent Sage releases. It is a powerful yet easy-to-use tool to make sense of all the corporate data stored within your Sage databases. Whether for operations, sales, or strategic planning, making sense of the data in front of us is often a big challenge in any organization. Sage Intelligence is meant to have you spend more time making sense of your key metrics without having to find, extract, and consolidate information from various repositories. Sage Intelligence will quickly become an invaluable tool in presenting critical information from your enterprise in a way to give you confidence in making better and informed decisions. As you can see, Sage Intelligence comes with a number of pre-generated reports covering many aspects of corporate life, whether financial, inventory, sales, vendors, and of course, strategic dashboards for a quick one-glance look into the health of your organization. Sage has been adding to that list of free canned reports, and therefore what is available to you depends on the Sage 300 version you're currently running in your environment. The list represents the report on the right-hand side of the slide. The reports are available in version 2019, released last December. These reports grow, of course, with each release. So remember that also they are not static reports and that they always show the most up-to-date metrics each time you run them. Timely information that can be then sliced and diced for higher granularity. You, of course, can add to this list by creating your own specific reports to share with users across the enterprise. As you will see, Intelligence creates Excel reports which can then be manipulated, formatted, or presented in any way you wish. So all of you Excel experts out there, go ahead and have some fun personalizing what others will see, whether you're adding a logo, changing colors, heading, footings, and much more. Real-time and drill-down capabilities are built right from the start. Having created the reports that key people across the organization will use, you can give access in one of two ways. Either let active users run their own reports at any time by being a licensed Sage Intelligence user, or simply choose to provide them with the information they need by running and saving reports in a number of formats such as PDF, Excel, or HTML, and distribute them by email on an FTP server or other ways. Another nice feature, by the way, is that despite giving someone the ability to use the modules whenever they want as a licensed user, you can still selectively restrict what they're able to see and run by report type, by company, or more. For all other users who will be sent the reports they need, you can even go one step further and automate the distribution process so that, for example, a dashboard report can be run and emailed each Monday morning to key decision makers in the enterprise. I'll leave it up to your imagination to think of all kinds of ways to service your users. So that's a quick overview of the highlights of Sage Intelligence. I'll now turn it over to Dino, who will show us what intelligence actually looks like and tell us more about this great tool. Dino will show us some examples that I believe will include financial, sales, and dashboard reports. So Dino, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yes.
And it's all for you.
Okay, well, thank you, Michelle, and welcome everybody to this webinar. I'm going to now walk you through the Sage Intelligence module as we have it in Sage 300. As you can see, this is a Sage 300 version 2019. As we speak, the latest and greatest. And on your main left pane, where all your modules are, intelligence reporting is displayed. Intelligence reporting is in fact an integral part of Sage 300 now. It's native to it. So it means that it's part of your normal, regular installation process. Every time Sage 300 is upgraded, Sage Intelligence in it is upgraded too, so you don't have to worry about versions and different configurations. It's an integral part of the software. Sage Intelligence can be interfaced with any of your Sage 300 modules, including payroll, or if you have it, if you use it, the Sage CRM, US payroll, and project and job costing. And really, Sage Intelligence can pull data from a wide variety of data sources, like Sage 300 itself, Sage CRM, as I said already, Microsoft Access databases, or Oracle databases, Excel spreadsheets. In whatever form you have your data, if you think in your organization data is too scattered, Sage Intelligence does offer you the option, the unique option to combine everything into one reporting system. That's a great advantage that you get. Now, so when you click on the main screen of Sage 300, when you click on intelligence reporting, you get on the right pane, you get all the functionalities that are included. I'm going to start now with the license manager. Typically, what you have here is a number of licenses. Now, although this may seem a little daunting at first time, it's really quite simple. Each of these licenses obviously does something. You have the main one is the report manager. So typically, you have the number 1 here. When you purchase a Sage 300, this report manager license is given to you for free, so it's free to use. So this translates to say that intelligence reporting, you already own it. You can start using it right now. The one thing that I wanted to mention also, that if you do not see the intelligence reporting here on the main pane, there may be a problem with installation, either installation or activation. Installation/activation is a real quick process that DNA can take care of for you. It's again, as I said before, it's part of your usual regular installation process of Sage. So once you have the activation codes, the whole process is really quick. Back to the licenses. As I said, the report manager is for free. You can start using it. You can use it to actually create or maintain existing reports. This is a per person license, meaning that if you have more than one report manager in your organization, you need to actually purchase additional licenses. Typically, in most cases, there's only one report manager. So you have the free license if that's the case, and you don't need to purchase anything else. Another per user license is the viewer license. Viewers are basically the ultimate users of the reports. These people typically do not change anything in the reports. They just run them. So in this area, you may have one, you may have several, depending on how many people you have, what they're gonna run. So you can have one or 10. Maybe these people are employees that come from different departments of your organization. The one nice feature that's attached to it, and you can actually see it here in the form of another icon, is you can set up security as well. So if you have, let's say, 5 viewers, but they all come from different departments, they can be restricted to be enabled only to access the reports concerning their own department. The other licenses that you see here, I only mention briefly because they are per site licenses. This means that regardless the number of users you have, you only need one license for your organization, and you can tell because instead of having a number, you have a yes displayed here. So these 3 are per site licenses. The connector basically allows you to create brand new reports from scratch. That means without utilizing a pre-packaged report. The analysis is something that typically clients use on a second stage and a maturity stage because it involves the use of data cubes, so something more sophisticated. The report designer is a great tool to generate financial reports in Microsoft Excel. At DNE, we can help you greatly in deciding what licenses to purchase and how many of them. When you know what reports you want to run, in which departments, what kind of users you're going to have, we can help you, shed light on this topic, and we can help you make an informed this decision on your ideal configuration of licenses, one that allows you to basically maximize your return on investment. Now, next we have the main report tool, authoring tool, where you actually create reports, is the report manager. Once you click on here, a brand new screen displays. On your left, as usual, you have a panel with a number of folders. These folders, they contain a lot of reports. These are prepackaged reports that come with the software, so you can use them in your organization. These prepackaged reports are a great tool to get you started. Because, well, first of all, they are developed by the Sage Intelligence Group itself. So they are developed by experts that know Sage 300 very well. These are by the way, incidentally, these are the creators of the software. And, these reports are well tested. So by the time they are delivered to you, they are well tested and they're mostly bug-free. The great thing about these reports, not only, I mean, do you have a great number of them, like this would be the category of new reports. You can see how many there are. There are more available on the website because I think these are developed and created on a daily, if not a daily, on a weekly basis. So on the website, you may find even more than you have here. The great advantage that you have here is that, you know, these reports are great because are ready to use. Now, does this mean that are ready to use for your organization? Maybe they don't have all the features you need for your business model, but the great thing is that you can use them as a base. So a lot of work is cut here because it's already done for you. What you can do is add to these reports and customize them the way you want. Very simply, if you wanted to, like let's say, a financial report, you wanted to make a copy and start working on your own copy, you right-click on the report, just hit copy, go to your folder, and paste, and your report now is there, ready to use, to be run, or to be modified. Incidentally, in this folder tree, I created a custom folder here, and as you can, as you probably noticed, I prefixed the name of the folder with an underscore. This allows me to always have this folder on top, so it's very handy. It doesn't get confused with anything else in here. And also this this feature is also available if we go for a second back to the main window where you have your report viewer. It's used by users. This feature of having the folder always on top is on display here as well. In this case, to run the report, you just click on it, click run. Typically, when you run any reports, there's always parameters to be entered. And again, typically this would be a time frame of some sort, fiscal year, it could be a fiscal period, but it could be anything else really. If you're running sales reports, it could be a sales territory, it could be a sales rep code, and so on and so forth. In this case, because this is a financial report, it's asking me for the financial year. If I click on the ellipsis, I get all the options available. In this case, this is a sample database, so I would only have 3 years in a row, 2018, 19, and 20, and then I click OK, and then OK, and my report is run. So when you run reports, you basically generate an Excel spreadsheet. Excel spreadsheet looks like any other. This is the first example that I want to show you. It's a financial report, so an income statement. Now, before I do that, before I get into the details of this, I want to make a distinction. It's a very important conceptual distinction between spreadsheets and templates. You know, I'm sure most, if not all of you, know the difference between an Excel spreadsheet and an Excel template. Now, Sage Intelligence records the basic settings that you create and maintain of a report into a template. A template, in other words, is a blueprint where you know, the criteria for an Excel spreadsheet to be run are stored. So if you store your blueprint or a template today, tomorrow when you run the same report, you know, all the settings contained in the template will be run. Like for instance, here, when you want to save a template for the report, if you click on the report and you say Excel template, whatever you have in Excel today now is saved in the template, and it will be run next time over. So obviously one thing is the template that you manage in the report manager, and another thing is the Excel spreadsheet, which is basically the outcome report. Now, this is a normal Excel spreadsheet. You can save it on your hard disk. You can share it in your network, share the network location. You can send it by email. It's an Excel. You can convert it into a PDF file. It's an Excel spreadsheet like any other. Now, if we wanted to go more into the details of this report, it's, well, first and foremost, it's an income statement. So it's got, you know, the usual structure of a financial report. On your leftmost column, you would have like GL accounts listed. It could be one GL account. It could be a range of GL accounts. In this case, I'm using here wildcards to get a group of GL accounts like revenue, cost of sales, same thing. I'm using wildcards. You can use a range from one particular account to another account, and you can use also specific GL accounts. Here you have your account description, and these are the data, the actual data that are pulled in the report. We have three columns: current year, current period, last year, current period, and your variance. Now, before I get to anything else, you can customize this. Again, it's Excel by putting your images, so your logo and everything else. When you are done, don't forget to go back to your report and save Excel templates, so all your customizations will be saved. One other thing that I would like to mention on this particular report is the header. You know, these are basically the parameters that are used in the formulas here. These parameters can be changed. You know, if I change from period 3 to period 2, you will see it reflected here. The one thing to retain and take away here is that a Sage Intelligence report, as opposed to other systems like F9 or Financial Reporter, a Sage Intelligence report always contains the data source that's pulled from Sage 300. So it's a self-contained Excel spreadsheet. This means that you can take it home, for instance, and even if you don't have any connection to the internet or anything like that, it's an Excel self-contained spreadsheet. You can see all the data. Now, when you run the report, if you put a sufficient number of fiscal periods, you know, you can change them here. Let's say I want to change to 2018. As you can see, the data is there. 2017 evidently was not chosen when the report was run, so you only have 2019 and 2018. But if you do include 2017, it will be shown like any other period. Really, you can build you know, large databases of data, if you like, with one single Excel spreadsheet. Now, in this report, I only have one tab, but typically, you know, you would have, especially if it's a larger organization, you would have a number of tabs here or sheets. So when it comes to change parameters like your period or the fiscal year, one tool that comes in very handy is this parameters tab that I created myself. You see it's got the logo again. Now this set of parameters concerns not only this tab but any other that could be there potentially. So the great thing about something like this is when you have several tabs or sheets, you change the parameters here. Whatever you change here is reflected on each one of the sheets that you have. So this is it for the first example of a financial report. A second example that I would like to show you is a sales report. Sales reports tend to be long, very long. Well, it depends how many customers you have, how many items you have, but they could be very long reports. So the good thing that we do here with Sage Intelligence is to build a pivot table. I'm sure most of you Excel users are familiar with pivot tables. So once they are set in, again, you set the pivot table, draws the data, save the templates. So it will be available for next time when you run it. Now you want to slice and dice your data. You select your filters like that. So you have, all the possible views you may need from this one report. Again, sales, another way to use Sage Intelligence. As opposed to other systems like, again, F9 and financial reports, Sage Intelligence can be used for financial reporting, but also for any other type of reporting. I've come across clients that needed manufacturing, production reports, purchasing, sales, inventory, and payroll, and you name it. So this is it for this second example. Now I would like to show you third and last example. It's probably the most used example of a business intelligence reporting tool. It's obviously a dashboard. The great thing about a dashboard is that it's capable to combine or concentrate data from different areas of a database or a platform, and this is the case here, whereas all the data is pulled from Sage 300, but they come from different ledgers, from different modules. This is again your profit and loss, so this would typically come from your GL module. Then you have a chart here that reflects these data. Then you have 5 top items. So this would typically come from your inventory control module. Another slice of the pie is this top 5 customers year to date. This would typically come from either order entry or accounts receivable. Top 5 expenses year to date. This again this information comes from the general ledger. So as you can see, everything is combined in one sheet or worksheet. There's great graphics. You can add more. You can add your logo and do a lot of customization. Now, I would like to spend the last few minutes of this presentation to outline the services that are offered by DNA. We offer a wide array of services, I should say, that go from A to Z, meaning installation and activation, for instance. Again, if you do not see your folder here, chances are that either your Sage Intelligence wasn't installed, or it was installed, but it's not activated. We can help you with all that, so you can start looking at the program or the software yourself. We can obviously troubleshoot any issues you may come across. We have now a lot of experience. There's a few consultants available, and we have a lot of experience also in real life problems and issues, and we're always able to fix them, to resolve them, and have the client happy and up and running. We can, especially in the early stage, you will be using Sage Intelligence. As I already mentioned, we can help you make an informed decision on the licenses. Now, the licenses that you have today can be changed in the future. Nothing, is forever. But we deem that our clients' satisfaction comes from the fact that we are able to inform them and we enable them to again maximize the return on investment. So this is a big decision. We can shed some light on how the licenses work, and based on the information you yourselves feed us, we can help you configure the ideal scenario for you in terms of licenses. We can also obviously help you create reports. We have a lot of experience in that area as well. Financial report, non-financial reports. There's a pretty good demand of a particular type of reports, which is alerts, because Sage Intelligence is not only capable of running reports on demand, which means the user prompts the report to be run, but also Sage Intelligence can be scheduled to run reports automatically at a certain time of the day, certain days of the week, certain days of the month. The choice here is very ample. Sage Intelligence does use the Windows scheduler, the task schedule, which is a very flexible and powerful tool. So you can set, for instance, alerts. Some clients manage inventory. They may want to be alerted when one of the items or some of the items reach the minimum stock level. So they would typically get an email from Sage Intelligence. So this is really where you can make a difference in your business and really make informed decision, as we always say. So we can help you in the creation of the report. We can use, our prepackaged report. We can create one from scratch for you if it's really, customized and adapted, adjusted to your business model. Chances are that the report will have to be created from scratch. We can do that for you. And last but not least, we can also offer training sessions. We can sit down with you and explain the software in more detail, more than we have done today anyway, because there's a learning curve. Of course, you need to have good, solid Excel skills, and so we can do that for you. We can do the training, and with this, I am done, and I will now pass the torch, as they say, back to Michel.
Thank you, Dino. That was a great overview of the various components. Much appreciate. Let me just switch the screen back. If there's 4 key points that we'd like you to take away from this presentation, I think they would be the following. Sage Intelligence, you likely already have it, but it needs to be installed or activated, and it needs to be basically turned on for you to start using it. Secondly, as you saw, there's a number of free canned reports that keep growing, the list keeps growing, but of course you can generate your own specific to your needs. Thirdly, these dynamic up-to-date reports are always showing the real-time information when they're run, and they include right from the start the drill down capabilities that Dino demonstrated. And also, lastly, you can give access to generate their own reports to the user specifically, or generate reports for them automatically and route them in whatever way that is best. Either drop it on an FTP site or send them by email, etc. We do have a few questions. I'd like your help, Dino, in addressing some of those. Let me just pick out the first one. You showed making changes in Excel on a report. And the question is, are these changes saved going forward?
The answer is yes. As I mentioned already a couple of times, Sage Intelligence allows you to work with Excel templates. So the templates is really what saves and stores whatever modifications you do to a report for these settings to be used next time. So yes, it's like a blueprint that you can change over time, and every time you run a report, the settings or the criteria contained in this blueprint, which is the template, are used. The distinction we always make is between the template and the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is instead, the outcome of the report. Today it can be one, and if you run the same report 2 days from now, it can be slightly different. The good thing about this, that the Excel spreadsheet, you can save as a separate standalone Excel spreadsheet and take it home and use it everywhere, anywhere, basically.
Okay, thank you. Another question talking about F9 crystal reports. And it's funny, I was discussing this question myself with some of our technical guys this week, and the answer, fairly common that I got between them, is that as far as financial reports are needed, more than likely Sage Intelligence will take care of 90% or more of them. But if you're an expert in Crystal, or if you're a long-time user of FR or F9, or you're an SQL wizard, then likely you're going to use that tool to do some very specific reports that may be either not available in Intelligence, or maybe so specific that since you're knowledgeable in that tool, you're going to use that. Any comments on that you would like to add?
No, well, yeah, briefly. Yeah, I mean, these are other typical F9, FR, Crystal reports are typical tools that are used in conjunction with Sage 300. Sage Intelligence will have the capacity to replace most of them, at least F9 and FR, and being more efficient. The one complaint that I get from clients is about F9 and FR is that it does not have the capacity, as I said, to generate a report and have now the report in Excel and save the report. That's what I get from clients. Sage Intelligence will overcome this problem. Crystal Reports has been there for a long time for Sage 300. It's a great tool. It's probably used more for reports that need to be printed out. I would say the future is more in digital. So the takeaway here is that whatever you do in Crystal Reports, if you really actually want to store in a digital form, chances are is that you can do the same thing with Sage Intelligence, but you don't print anything out. Also, a comparison often that we have between Crystal Reports and Sage Intelligence is the learning curve. It could be different. Sage Intelligence, you are mainly only talking about Excel. Most people are very knowledgeable about Excel already before they start using SI. So I would say that's another little token or advantage over Crystal Reports, where sometimes you need to enter the intricacies of SQL, the SQL language. it could be a little daunting. So I would say that's another advantage of Sage Intelligence.
Okay, thank you. One question that just came in actually. You mentioned, or of course, we showed the various pre-canned reports that exist, and then you mentioned downloading some reports. Can you just clarify that again, please?
Yes, the Sage Intelligence Group is incidentally a company from South Africa. They're an integral part of the Sage team. These people, they generate the new reports. I'm not sure if it's on a daily basis, but I would assume it's on a weekly or monthly basis. So there's always new reports if you don't find what you're looking for in a canned report, as we say. Well, I mean, you may be lucky and go on the website, Sage Intelligence website. Chances are that the report was created between the time you installed your Sage Intelligence and today.
Okay, thank you. And one last question. I'll start that one. We talked about user licenses for end users that want to run their own reports whenever they want. What is the cost of a user license? In a subscription model, it's $120 per year or $11 per month per user. That's about it. Anything else you want to add?
Yes, that's you are referring to the viewer license, which is the most common license you need to buy for people to be able to run independently, like I mentioned before, in different departments of the organization to run reports. And you are correct in mentioning that because that's the most common license acquired. The report manager, I would like to stress out again, you have one license for free. I don't see many clients that have more than one, and chances are that you only need one. So yes, that's I confirm what you just said.
Thank you, Dino. So,
And thank you, Michel. Merci beaucoup.
merci. I suspect that you can feel that we're quite excited about this module here at DNA, and we wish to share this excitement with you in an easy entryway to get starting working with the Sage Intelligence tool. As such, we offer until April 30th a special introductory service consisting of 4 hours of consulting to complete the activation and configuration of intelligence in your environment, to provide training on the product, to discuss specific reports which are of interest to your organization, explain scheduling and automatic distribution of these reports, and much more. As a result of this service, after 4 hours with Dino or one of our consultants, you will be in a position to understand what you can do with intelligence, how best to deploy it in your enterprise, and identify what help you may need to get further in developing new reports or expand the installation of the tool. As I said, this program will be offered at a significant discount from now until the end of the month of April. It's a great way to get started and use this awesome corporate reporting tool right away. Feel free to contact us and send us an email to get started. And again, thank you all for attending. We hope this session was beneficial. We loved your questions. Merci pour votre présence et vos questions. We will be getting back to the couple of people that asked very specific things. Have a great day, and until the next webinar, thank you, and see you soon.